I really sometimes agree with them when they don't even read social media. I agree with them because people can be very bitter.
Very bitter.
I saw some terrible things they wrote about Ronaldo. I was like, the guy does not even know you. Why are you writing this bitter thing? Hello, good evening. This is Taiwan Ojobi, your host on Lanonasis Maple Sports. You know, we like to bring you unfiltered opinion, sharp analysis, and some big love for Canadian hoops and ice. You know, the World Cup was always going to be the highlight for, the past 6 to 5 weeks. And a lot of things came out of the World Cup. And I guess before we even go into some of the aftermaths, let's just talk a little bit about the final and what projections, looking at the fact that this World Cup was one of the most popular. That's number one. Number two, it's generated the most income within the last 20 years. If you combine almost all the last 5 World Cups we've had over the last 25 years, this has been the one that has produced the highest income generation, and the dynamics have really changed. But before we go deep into that, Manuel, just say hello, then we can just dive right into it.
Hi, Taiwo. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here again to discuss our favorite game. Yeah, it's been a great World Cup season, and happy to see that it's over. It was a good one. The finals last Sunday was great to watch. So happy to see it's done. I cannot focus on the transfer window and looking forward to the new season. Yeah, looking forward to the discussion today.
Yeah, exactly. So that being said, sometimes I just sit down a couple of times because there were some key highlights about this World Cup that I think we cannot just ignore. And I don't really look at them as major. So let's just say a little bit of banter. First of all, we saw a bit of rivalry between Ronaldo and Messi fans really coming out.
Yep.
So we saw that level of activity at a different level. And we still have a couple of people that are still trying to argue who is the greatest of all time. And I have a couple of things that I just want to add to that, but I would like to know what you feel about it. On the second hand, Argentine Football Association was already being investigated, even before the World Cup, for corruption charges, allegedly. So going into the World Cup, they were already heavily being investigated. Now, we also got some information that a lot of their fans were very aggressive. They were very rude, and a little bit of chanting, which were more like slurring, saying a lot of words that allegedly, rather, some people felt that it was more like they were a bit racist in the way they approached things. And that's why it looked like the supporting cast, just for Spain alone, just for that final, was overwhelming, because these were people that were not supporting Spain from the beginning. Just an overwhelming number were so happy about Spain's dominance, and how the final was very classical. I think that's the first time in a long time I saw a final that was one-sided. They didn't have any shot on goal until around the 92nd minute. That's after regular time.
Yep.
It was in the extra time they just had their first shot on goal. And, it just shows that Spain is still a very classical team. Shout out to De La Fonte. That guy is something else. But before I go deep,
brilliant coach.
Let me just see what your view is. Just tell me what you feel about the final generally.
It was an interesting one, right? To be fair, my personal view, I don't think Argentina deserve to be in the final from the way they played that game, right? You think that they didn't deserve to be there because you can't be final where no shot on target, no shot on goal at all, not even on target, no shot on goal. And Spain had 20. So clearly they just came to see through, defend, get one chance and score and try to score a goal. And looking at the games that they played all through the World Cup, you see that Messi was carrying that team on his shoulders all through, right? Which was shocking. And they have some very good players, right? They have Romero, you have John Alvarez, you have Lautaro Martinez. So you have good players.
They even have Paredes. They have some good guys. They even brought back Otamendi for the final too.
Yeah. So you have players who on a very good way to stand on their own without Messi. But it looks like Messi, almost all the goals in that game was assisted by Messi. Apart from the other two they scored in the Jordan game. Everything was Messi assisting or scoring, which was quite disappointing for Argentina. It just shows you how great Messi is, right? And we'll come to the argument later, right? But it shows you how important Messi is to that Argentinian team, right? It's just interesting to see. And then back to the final, it just showed how good Spain is, right? I wanted Spain to win because I don't feel like Argentina deserved to be in the final, right? If I looked at all the games they played against Cape Verde, They were not so great. Gibraltar almost won that game. England almost won the game against. If England was just a little bit brave, they could have won that game and been in the finals, right? So you look at all them, you ask yourself, really, do they deserve to be there? And again, I'm not saying they have lovely players, great players, right? Who are doing well in their different clubs where they play, but just in that World Cup, there's an issue with the combination of play and everything. That wasn't working properly. Even not for Messi, I don't think they'd have gone that far. I mean, from what I'm not saying Messi was doing everything, but look at the stats of the Argentina side in the World Cup. Most of the goals were scored by Messi, right? Either the assist or the goal came from him. So 80% of their goals was either assisted or scored by Messi. So you ask yourself, if you take out that Messi from that team, they will struggle, right? So it showed in the World Cup how reliant they were on Messi, and the fact that Spain tactically removed Messi from the game. And once they take Messi from the game, there's nothing those guys can do. Clearly, that's what clearly happened. And Argentines too, those players too, they've shown over time that they can be very rough players. I mean, we saw that in the World Cup, right? People felt like they were getting a lot of free passes from the ref. So it felt like that game was just the game where Nemesis, where he now caught up with them. They say it's Nemesis that caught up with them. Like, you can't do this and keep on doing this and keep on escaping.
Get away with it.
So the red card on Enzo Fernandez, I felt it was the second yellow card was clearly a foul. All right, he got into the tackle late, and that's it. And once again, no matter whether you had intention of doing something or not, that's a yellow card offense, right? And I can't remember what happened. What gave him the first yellow card, but the second one was clearly a yellow card, and they just had to go. So and then you then see how the team just. And to be fair to them, they still tried. They held it together for a while before Spain now scored, right? But overall, I think Spain deserved the win. Deserved the win so well. Even if after Spain beat France 2-0, I was like, it has to be Spain. It has to be Spain, because look at what they did to France, right? So it was in fact, it was that showed that France could be beaten easily in the World Cup.
Exactly.
After they beat them, England now beat them 6-4 in that firecracker of a game where we saw 10 goals in the game. So I think Spain deserved to win it, and I'm so happy that they won it, because if I didn't have won that World Cup, it would have been one of the winners of the World Cup to see a team that just didn't play anything at all in the finals.
Yeah.
And Spain, if you watch the game, Spain deserved to win. They were by far the better team. Everywhere looked at defensively, attacking wise, the midfield, everything was just on point. Oh my God, Rodri, what a player Rodri is. He does this at Man City all the time, and now doing it on the biggest stage of the world, the biggest stage, which is the World Cup. Like, everything he did, it's just like, when they say someone just a perfect player, without him, I don't know if Spain would have been able to do what they did, right? But he was just everywhere on the pitch. Wherever I looked, you saw Rodri there, moving the ball, defending, moving the ball to the front. It was just great. I mean, I hope it leaves Man City this season so that Arsenal can win the league again. But it was great to see. Like, it was a joy to watch that finals on that day. I didn't watch all of it because I was busy something, but at least part I watched, I liked what I saw from Spain. They're great, and they're going to be there. And apart from Rodri and the few who are above 30 in that team, most of them are still very young. Lamine Yamal is young. What's his name? Ferran Torres is still very young. So you have some very young players in that team who will be there for a long time. And I thought what the coach has done with that team, right? You can see he's been building that team for some time, and now they are here, right? It's just a perfect performance from them in this World Cup. They considered only one goal all through all the games in the World Cup.
Yeah,
just one goal. So they were deserved winners of the World Cup, and I'm happy to see that they won it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I think if we look at it generally, we should be able to give some credit to Belgium, even for scoring just that only goal against them. They are well packed together. Also, looking at the fact that a good number of those players have not played together in the same club.
Yeah.
They are scattered, even though we have a good number from Barcelona, but they are scattered everywhere, and they're still able to come together and pass the ball like as if they've known each other for a long time.
Yep.
Now, if we try to look at the last time they lost, and that was, I think it was the Euro country level competition, not the normal Euros. I think it's the other European competition, European club.
Yep.
And at that time, I think they lost against Portugal in penalties. That was the second time Portugal was also winning that competition, European country competition as well. And since that time, they've not lost, and they won 14 straight up until the final. So it also shows that they are doing some things right.
Yep.
You understand? And I really like what I'm saying.
Yep.
But that's a good one. Before we go into some of the transfers that are really rocking the European markets, what is your view about how much they've really attacked at least two of the greatest players? Because I don't like to disrespect Messi, but I just like to say it the way it is. But I'm personally a Ronaldo fan. I like the resilience he has shown. Yeah. And I also like the fact that he has made a lot of people believe that you can work hard and still be at the very top or very best.
Yeah,
It's not to take away the fact that Messi doesn't work hard,
of
but
course.
a lot of his success is driven by his talent.
Yep.
But if you look at Ronaldo has had to work hard to be able to earn, being called the GOAT. But what do you think generally? Because both of them didn't win, you
Yep.
understand? And
Yep.
I kind of feel that Ronaldo got more attacks, especially looking at the fact that they also did a song saying cry Ronaldo fans, cry. And I was like, these things are just not necessary. While they were doing all this, Ronaldo was on vacation with his family in one island outside Europe,
Chilling.
just enjoying himself. And, sometimes I try to put myself in the shoes of some of these, top athletes at the very highest level of their career. I really sometimes agree with them when they don't even read social media. I agree with them because people can be very bitter.
Very bitter.
I saw some terrible things they wrote about Ronaldo. I was like, the guy does not even know you. Why are you writing this bitter thing?
Crazy.
I even, I saw it on someone's page. I won't mention his name, and he went ahead and he said when Argentine, some people were talking about the Argentine Football Association being corrupt.
Yeah.
And he said Ronaldo social media page liked it.
Yeah,
I was like, they are burner pages now.
Yep.
Do you know Kevin Durant has over 10 to 15 burner pages that are not his own, and they are all verified. So I'm like, you can't come to social media because you already have a platform and you are telling people something that you yourself, you don't have the capacity to verify it.
You can't verify it, exactly.
You can't verify it now because you are not his PA, you are not his agency, you don't know anything about him. So how would you verify that he was the one that liked it?
Yeah.
So generally, what's your own view? What's your own view about it?
It's crazy. I mean, the social media bans and everything about these two players is crazy. And the truth is that these guys could just be friends. They could be talking on the phone right now as you and I are here. We on the phone talking about the World Cup and how the whole thing went, and even talking about the different decisions that people are blaming both of them for. Sometimes these things go around and we're blaming the guys on the pitch for referee making mistakes.
Exactly.
So I mean, we can point to different mistakes that they were made on that World Cup. But the one that favored Ronaldo was Portugal, the one against Croatia.
The letter said the Croatia goal shouldn't have been disallowed.
It shouldn't have been disallowed, exactly. I saw that thing on replay like 3 times. I don't know, these days AI can do a lot of things these days. I don't know whether someone uses AI to change now, show us on social media. We don't know. So if what I saw was the right thing, then I don't think that goal should have been disallowed. Right, but that's stuff another day. We can see a lot of things about Messi and Argentina as well, that where we were like, they should have gotten a red card. Messi should have gotten a red on the first game. Should have been a red card straight from that foul. So all these things happen, and this is not their fault. It's the referees that should be blamed for some of these things that happen. Right. So the debate of who is better, who is the best of both of them. Personally, my own personal view has always been Ronaldo has done what he's doing in different countries. He did it in Portugal before he moved to England. He did it in England. He did it in Spain. He did it in Italy when he was there, although he never won Champions League in Italy.
Italy, yeah.
And he scored a lot of goals there. And now he's not doing it again. He came back to England. It didn't work out so well, right? And now he's not doing that again in Qatar. No, sorry, in Saudi Arabia, right? So Messi, Ronaldo on his own is a hard worker, and honestly, is a motivation to a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people who don't have the talent to something, but then it made us believe that hard work pays. Put yourself, eat right. Do the right fitness thing and everything, you can be really, really fit if you want to be. But the rest 41, 42, and you're still competing with people who are in their mid or late 20s,
early 30s.
So it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be at that level and still be functional at that level. Yes, he didn't have a great World Cup, to be fair. He scored only 2 or 3 goals.
No, for me, I don't even think Messi too had a great World Cup because at that level, the idea is we want to win it all.
You want to win it all, yep.
It's not about coming second or coming third. At that level, it's about winning it all. And because they've already earned that respect to be called people that can be involved in the conversation of the GOAT, greatest of all time, the idea is excellence must be at the highest level.
Yep.
So even if you were at the final and you couldn't get it done, it's still as much as someone that didn't get to the final to me.
Fair.
Especially if you're at that level. If it's an average player, you can use another yardstick.
Yeah.
Or another set of parameters to judge that.
But when I look at this guy, Messi is going to be 39 this year.
Yeah,
39 years old. He's being compared to Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
Who is supposed to be in his prime.
Yeah.
What's his name? Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is. Michael said, these are people that are competing. Look, I'm looking at the stats right now. Highest goals. Messi had 12 goal contribution in this World Cup. 12 goal contribution. 8 goals, 4 assists. That is Lionel Messi. 12 goals contribution. Mbappe had 10 goals. Bellingham had 7 goals. I think he had 1 or 2 assists or something. So if you look at goal contribution, the highest is actually Messi.
Yeah.
So I don't think I agree that he didn't have a good World. He had a good World Cup. It's just like if he had a better team around him, maybe they could have done different. Probably would have won it. They had a better team around him because to hold Spain to that, to 0-0 almost at the 70 or 88 minutes of that. Oh no, it was actually it's got an extra time, right?
It was called in extra time.
Extra
Though.
time. So
even though they had a goal disallowed, the Spain was outstanding.
better. So I mean, it could have gone it that way, right? If this Spain made a mistake right now and Messi scored, or Argentina scored, that made a difference already by now. So, but that said, right, I don't like when I see the way the banter goes, and that's what one thing with banter, it can go too far, right?
Yeah.
People keep on saying that Ronaldo is the best, Messi is the best, and then it goes to it's just I think these guys, I like you said, I feel for them. I don't know what they think about in their head when they see all these posts about people.
No, I'm even happy when I hear things like they don't even manage their social media page. They don't look at it.
They don't.
Because
they don't social media
for
pages.
their mental health is also good. I'm happy about that, really.
Yeah, and again, you said Ronaldo is they are probably older. What about the younger guys who are in their 20s, all the social media? Because someone like, I'll give an example, Noni Madueke, when he moved to Arsenal and all the posts and people signing petitions that the transfer should be cancelled. Mbappe recently too, the petition in Madrid that they should sell him or something. The people were signing. So and these guys are like, I'm just doing my job, just like you're doing your job in your office. That's what I'm just doing. I'm just like every other one. Yeah, I'm probably paid more, and all of you watch me. So it doesn't take away the fact that I'm human, right? And I feel for them a lot of times when they go through this thing because sometimes it's not their fault. Who made the decision to buy Mbappe at Real Madrid? It's not him that made the decision. They offered him something and he liked the idea and he went. But someone made the decision to buy him. So that makes it look like it's his fault that he's been bought and paid what he's paid. And to be fair, he's doing very well. So if I look at Messi and Ronaldo, you can see they're too experienced. That is, they're late 30s, early 40s. So they're experienced. They know how these things work, right? So they're probably used to this kind of thing, used to this kind of banter and people bantering and saying who is the best and who is the better and everything. Personally, I think when it comes to who is the best of all time, based on what we've seen so far, I don't want to take sides, but if you look at achievement, if you look at number of Ballon d'Or, for example, who has won the World Cup, who has won the competitions where it's okay, this is the world's competition, like the World Cup. Messi has won it, Ronaldo has not won it. So they shout to say Messi is actually the best of all time, the greatest of all time, because he's won the World Cup, and not only has he won it, and he came different, and he as far as I'm going, he was the best player in the world, apart from Rodri. He's probably the best player in the World Cup because if you look at what he's done, it's not just about the goals, the assists.
Yeah, the assists.
Those passes, those crosses he was giving, like he was finding the players' heads to head those balls into the nets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you say who's the best of all of them, and it's hard to compare. But if you look at achievements, I'll probably say Messi. But then when I say hard to compare, I mean Messi is not an out-and-out striker. He's a 10.
He's a 10, yeah.
Ronaldo is a striker. He's now plays number 9. Before he was a 7 before. He now plays 9 or 7 or what? He was playing left wing before, right? 11. So he's now these are your common players who, yes, because they have a lot of stats that are similar, close to each other. It's not like they're competing, but they don't play the same wing. So it's unfair to compare Ronaldo to Messi. That's my own view. I may be wrong, but that's what I think because they play different positions. Messi is not the striker in the Argentine team. You had Alvarez, you had Lautaro Martinez, who was there. Messi was playing behind them, but in Portugal, Ronaldo was the 9, waiting for passes to come to him for him to score. Messi was not providing. Messi was not taking the ball and finding the passes. Sometimes will score. So when people compare them together, and I'm like, is it really fair? And I expect people's opinion. I'm not saying it, but I'm just saying if I look at it objectively, I'm saying to myself, is it fair? Is it like comparing Mbappe, for example, to someone like maybe Bukayo Saka, for example? Mbappe plays on the left or forward. Saka plays on the right, right? So when you look at these things, sometimes when we compare these guys together, it looks like, are they really comparing apples to apples here? Or because they are doing very well for that. It showed, and again, credit to them, it shows that they're both doing very well for themselves, right? So I don't like to get into the argument of who's the best, right? Because I think that Messi is a natural footballer. Like Messi doesn't need to, I don't think he needs to train to even play very well.
Yeah.
He just has it in him. Like if you see touches, the way he carries the ball, the way he does everything, he's just a natural footballer. And of course, he works hard because even if you have the line of talent, you don't work hard, you're not going to go anywhere. So
definitely,
Ronaldo is a hard worker, and he's shown us that with hard work, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Like, see what Ronaldo has done. Look at his history. Ronaldo, everything Ronaldo's daily life is well structured, well planned to ensure that he's successful. So it shows you that if you're meticulous about your life, you're careful about what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and set those goals and do everything possible to achieve them, you can achieve those goals. And Ronaldo is testament to that. So we can see that it's actually working for him, right? So, I mean, when I see those guys, it takes a lot. How many players have retired at 35 or 32 or 33? Right? We've seen them retire at 32. How many of our Nigerian players have played up to 39 or 38 or 36? How many? You understand? And So for them to be at that level, still performing at that level, competing with guys who are way younger than them, it shows how great footballers that they are, right? So it's just what it is. I love both of them. I like to watch them play. I like to see the kind of goals that Ronaldo scores. I like to see Messi doing what he does, carrying the ball, finding those passes, dribbling his people, scoring goals and things like that. So, and I think we just enjoy them because before we see players who can do what these two guys have done in football, it's going to take a long time to see them.
Definitely.
And we have some footballers who are doing well right now, but to see two people who will push themselves, five guys that push themselves in football history, to be hard to see. Because if you look at it, Messi is great of all time. Who's the next person after him? Is Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Number of Ballon d'Ors, who has won the most after Messi is Ronaldo. Ronaldo has the most Champions Leagues. More than Messi.
Yeah, Ronaldo has like 5 Champions League.
More than Messi.
Messi had 4.
Messi has 4.
After Messi spent about 17 years in Barcelona, with that stellar performance, he was only able to win just 4 Champions League out of 17
and that 4 is a brilliant record.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's not easy. And that's why I'm saying 5 by Ronaldo shouldn't be shoved aside.
And 5 in 10 years. 5 in 10 years, right?
5 in 10 years, exactly.
Yeah.
Then also, Ronaldo has had to move from one country to another, make adjustments.
Several times.
And still become the best player on the team every time he moves.
Every time. Yep.
So that alone, because anytime I talk about the GOAT argument in basketball, there are a lot of parameters that are valid.
Yep.
I'll give you a good example. The GOAT conversation is always between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. And LeBron James has been to the final 10 times, has won only 4.
Okay.
Michael Jordan has been to the final 6 times and he won the 6. So some people, they feel that that's like an 100% performance.
Yep.
Now, Michael Jordan has won Defensive Player of the Year 10 times.
Yeah.
LeBron has not even won 1.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Michael Jordan has been the highest scorer in the league per season almost 10 times. I'm thinking about 9 or 10 if I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's scoring title. But I think LeBron does not even have up to 3 scoring titles. You understand? I have to check again. So there are still some disparities.
Yeah.
But they also looked at LeBron's journey. Going to the final 10 times was not easy.
Of course.
Yeah. Now, Michael Jordan did it with one team, and that's the Chicago Bulls. But LeBron had to move across 3 teams for him to win 4 championships. So a lot of things are involved. For example, now everybody is entitled to your rating methodology.
Yep.
8 Ballon d'Ors for me is valid. But for me, I think when I look at Ronaldo has won 3 competitions with Portugal. Same thing with Messi. Messi has won 2 Copa del Rey and 1 World Cup.
Yeah.
He's still 3 competitions with his country. Ronaldo too has won 3 with his country, Euros and the European one.
Yeah.
The new European one, they won 2 of that already.
League, yeah.
So a Nations League. So by the time you are looking at competitions they won with their country, it's fairly balanced. Who has more goals internationally and club all together than Messi?
Yeah.
So there are a couple of parameters that we can slide in there where you feel that Ronaldo
and that's the thing. So when you talk about number of goals now, you see Ronaldo is a striker.
Exactly.
Messi is not a striker. So if you want to compare, probably okay, fine. If you want, even to compare with assist, right? Now it's not even fair to compare assist because Ronaldo is the one that scores the goals for the most part. Messi is the one supposed to be the one that provides the goals, to be fair. That's what he's supposed to be doing. But to him be scoring and comparing to Ronaldo, who is a striker, that shows that he's doing very well. But then again, if you look at, is it easy to score over close to 1,000 goals?
And he has done that more than a decade.
And they've been still active. And so, for them to still be talking about discussion at this point in time, when 41 is 39, it shows that nobody can be like these 2 guys.
It's true.
Because there was one interview that there was his name, someone talked about, when put his name, John was the one I was going to think about from Messi way back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, I think someone said that he never can sustain that lifestyle for a long time.
Brazilians are not even, permit me to say, it's alleged, and it's not as if I'm accusing them wrongly. But Brazilians are not as disciplined. A good number of Brazilians that I know, the moment they retire, they're already overweight.
Yep.
So that level of discipline, I see it more with Europeans.
Yeah.
So you see a German that played 10 years ago, probably still looks the same.
Yep.
You see a Spanish guy, still kind of looks the same. But a Brazilian is already overweight, he's already enjoying himself. Even though I love those players, I love Ronaldinho, even though he's on the big side. I love Luis Nazario, Ronaldo de Lima.
Yeah.
All those guys. But they're already, but look at Zidane, he's almost like the same stature.
Yep.
You understand? Look at all those Iniesta, all those guys. Look at Sergio Ramos. They were all at the field there when Spain won the Euro.
And those guys still work out like mad. Like they still work out really hard. They still
work out aggressively.
They still work out aggressively.
I still talk about the fact that Sergio Ramos now owns a team because he was able to come up with some investment to buy, I think, a Spanish team.
Yeah.
And they are probably still thinking of buying more. Those guys, man, they are not playing football again. Now they are they're in the marketplace now, trying to build for their future, build a legacy, and they're still able to still stay fit like that.
Yeah.
But it's a good one, at least. Both players, I like Messi when he was playing behind Ronaldinho, when Ronaldinho was still because then I used to watch
Okay, right.
Ronaldinho a lot. I like Barca then.
Yeah.
So then I looked at him. He was a young guy playing similarly. They used to put him on the right. They would put Ronaldinho on the left. They will now put Samuel Eto'o in the middle.
Yeah.
So that time I used to watch Barca matches. I used to be like, man, who's this young guy?
Yeah.
Until he just blew up. When Ronaldo retired, Samuel Eto'o moved on, went to Inter, and from there, everything just blew up, and Messi became the core of the team.
Yeah.
But it's also a good story, starting from...
It is.
Yeah, it's a good story, man.
I mean, when I see people fighting about themselves that Ronaldo is better, Messi is better, to be fair, sometimes it's just banter, right? People like to banter themselves, right?
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say who is the best. It's just like saying, comparing Messi right now to Maradona or to Pele, right?
Mm-hmm.
Football has evolved over time. It's not the same football we're playing now we played some years ago, right? So it's a lot has changed in football. So it's difficult to compare these players because if you put Maradona in the same team as Messi, would the result be the same? Those are things to consider. If you put him in the same team as Messi, will he perform the same way or differently? Will he even outperform Messi? So when I see people comparing two players and trying to say who is the best of all of them, I just want to enjoy football and watch these players and watch what they do, because to be fair, what they have done to football in their own different ways is so lovely to see. Messi has brought a lot of things to football that we would love to see and we love to watch. We love to compare players to him to say, okay, who is the next Messi coming on? After Messi goes right now, who's probably the next one coming on? Ronaldo brought his own things to football. When I see Ronaldo play, I see what he does. I see his passion for the game. Despite, his age and everything, I see him still working hard to be fit to play the games and how hard he works to be fit. I'm like, this is great to see. And what he's achieved over time. And these guys come from background of nothing. And right now they are wealthy billionaires, because of they have two legs and they have, and they have a passion for what they do. So it's love to see. So I wish fans would just love what they do and just admire them, now that we have them. Because to be fair, I don't see Ronaldo in the next World Cup. Messi might be in the next World Cup the way it's going. It might be in the next World Cup if Argentina qualifies. So, because if Messi is playing the way he plays, he doesn't work that hard anymore. The team works for him these days, right? So, but now that we have them, we just need to enjoy what they bring and stop all this banting of who is. I'm not saying people should argue who's the best. I know sometimes people just do it for fun, for the fun of it.
I know, so people do it for clickbait. They just want
these footballers for not, like, for example, the one you talked about where they said a post about Argentina cheating in the World Cup and then like Ronaldo liked it. Ronaldo can't do that.
Where is the time?
Ronaldo can't do that. Do you understand? It can't be Ronaldo. Probably someone who manages speed or someone just, it can't be Ronaldo.
Yeah, no.
It's too petty.
I need their pages that are verified, that are still burner pages.
It's too. When I saw that thing, I was like, it doesn't sound right. Like, I don't want, because this is the age of
AI. The part that even pay me is you are insulting Ronaldo. He does not even know that you exist.
Doesn't even know that you exist. He doesn't even know that you exist. So that's what I see this thing. I'm like,
so the thing is, you look more stupid to me when you are insulting somebody that does not even know that you exist.
That's the thing. So it's the banter between. So the idea. Sometimes this thing that done to get followership.
Yeah, it's followership. That's for clickbait. It's basically clickbait. You want people to come and check
exactly what you said, and they're not.
That's okay, because I don't want to mess with anybody's money.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you are making money from that, that's okay, no problem.
That's okay.
But the idea is, don't make it personal.
Make it personal.
If you are talking about football, talk about their football. Don't get into a personal. Yeah, because sometimes it now kind of sounds like those guys are being personal about Messi.
These guys, because these guys are who they are, they can sue some people for this lie sometimes.
Of course, now I heard that the Argentina Football Association is thinking of suing people that are spreading these narratives about the fact that they are going through a corruption charge and all those stuff. And I don't know if they've really been cleared. I still need to go and check if they've been cleared of those corruption charges, because even leading up to the World Cup, they were still heavily linked for investigations around corruption and stuff. Yeah. So it is what it is. Yeah. I think we should just do a quick snapshot about what the market looks like. We've been able to do almost half of our time. Sure. And I know we talked earlier about Elliot Anderson moving from Nottingham to Man City.
Yep.
First of all, some things that are readily sticking out from that is about 160 million pounds. You understand? It just shows that Man City is doubling down. They're trying to look at goal scoring, even though Anderson also showed up well in the World Cup. I like what I saw in the World Cup. Yeah, he showed that press resistance.
Yep.
And it kind of aligns with the system which Man City will be playing, that vertical play system that they do. And I think it suggests that there'll be a long-term copies with him coming on board, with Maresca also coming to implement that same system. But for me, the implication to Forest, nobody really talks about what happens to the team that sold him to Man City, and that's Forest.
Yeah.
For them, massive cash injection for them.
Yeah.
They made some good money, and for them, they can use that money to kind of stabilize their wage bill, bring in maybe some few young talents, multiple positions,
Yeah.
and they can stabilize, because last year there was a time when they were flirting with relegation. We thought they were going to relegate. So it means that they need to, beef up and, do a little bit of improvement.
Yep.
Generally before the season starts generally. But for me now, if you look at the market signal, and I like to talk about the market signal, English talents now, they are now fully like superstar assets.
Yep.
It's now becoming very wide because for an Elliot Anderson, people didn't really talk about him and they still sold him for over 100 million plus. So what now happens to players like, let's assume that they want to sell a Declan Rice. How much would the Declan Rice now cost now? I'm just even assuming, hypothetically speaking. You understand? So it means that 100 million plus is no longer reserved for a few English superstar assets.
Yep.
I don't know if you agree with me.
Yep.
But generally, what's your view about some of the things I've talked about? Do you kind of agree, or what do you feel is the narrative?
Historically, English players are quite expensive. You want to buy a player in England, especially the ones that are doing very well, it's quite expensive, right? So someone can argue if Elliot Anderson was maybe from Spain or from Italy or something, would it have cost that much to go, for that price? But we saw what's the name Tonali go for £100 million, right?
Yeah, that's true.
From what we know, it's probably a more popular player than Elliot. I never paid attention to Elliot Anderson. I didn't watch him perform, but from what the stat I'm saying, he's actually quite good a clearer, and the fourth player than that's probably will benefit from the Man City system, especially with someone like playing with someone like Rodri. Although the rumors that Rodri might be going to Real Madrid, but that is not finalized yet. We're not sure that will still happen. So it's quite an interesting one because the market right now, a lot of folks think the market is quite inflated, right? Because there's no basis to sell Elliot Anderson for £160 million. Like a lot of people is he really worth that kind of money? And that's the thing about buying a player at the price that they don't control. And then what then happens, they go into the club and they're not doing that well. We've seen City buy players who come in at very high prices, come in and they don't hit that price tag. I know they're trying to get a long-term replacement for Rodri. I guess that's because Rodri is in his 30s right now. Probably has 1 or 2 good seasons in him right now to play, maybe 2 good seasons to play in him right now. So, and after which, probably see Elliot Anderson taking over from him in the future, right? I think they still have Kovacic in Man City. They still have Kovacic in there. They still have a few guys too who can play, who when in the midfield, but I guess they see him as a long-term replacement for Rodri, right? So, but it just shows you that the English players sometimes, the English tax as it is called, just what it is, they go for a higher price than other players, right? Because on a normal day, you think that Tonali will probably cost more than Elliot Anderson on a very good day. Like I could see Tonali playing. Like I know what he brings to. I have an idea what he brings to a team, but I can't say same for Elliot Anderson. And again, I've not really watched him play. Maybe I watched probably a bit more of Newcastle games than Nottingham Forest games to see Elliot Anderson play. But looking at what he did at the World Cup, he's quite a good player, right? Like I saw him pair very well with Declan Rice. They did very well together. So if Declan Rice was going for 105 some years ago, maybe that's the rationale to support him going for £160 million. But the other thing again, like I always say, is if he was playing in a different country before coming to England, would it have cost that much to buy? That's the question that somebody answer. If he was from a different country, playing the same way, played the same style, everything the same age, would it cost that much? Right? We saw what's his name? Fernandez go for £85 million. Wasn't Lucas Fernandez, the West Ham guy? Although you can see their team was going on, he's already gone down to
relegated. Yeah.
So it's probably that's why I went for that price. Maybe if not, you'd have probably gone for a bit higher, right? So it's a thing where you ask yourself, are this player really worth that amount? And this not push pressure on them to perform when they get into the team, right? Well, next season we'll tell if it's really worth the money. Because I pray that he does well. I want him to succeed, right? I want him to succeed because at the end of the day, they don't fix this price tag on themselves. I mean, the players, they just have to play well, right? They don't dictate how much they go for. It's the market that takes it, right? And the clubs dictate how much they go for. Now, Morgan Rogers go for £170 million as well because of that of Elliot Anderson. Now, you ask yourself, Morgan Rogers worth £170 million on a very good day. Like, when the Glorious came to Arsenal, you saw the impact already in Arsenal. You saw this guy's a leader. You saw what he was doing in Arsenal. Like, the whole mentality changed when the Glorious came in. Like, it was a statement signing for us, right? If we look at Morgan Rogers, £170 million. And again, even though I feel bad that we lost him to Chelsea, but again, I respect Arsenal for staying around and saying, no, we can't pay more than this for this player. We don't think it's worth that much. Respect you. If you don't want to sell him to us for this price and he wants to go here, that's fine. But we don't value him that much, unfortunately. We have a valuation for each player and we have to stick to that because if you don't stick to evaluation, then what happens? You're going to start paying a lot for players who are probably not there they don't want that much. We've seen that with Chelsea in the past. We've seen Michael Mudryk, when Arsenal wanted to buy him for about 90 million pounds or so, Chelsea came and topped it a few million pounds and took him over. And now, where is he today? That's not to say that this is the same case. What happened to Rogers or like Anderson? That's not what we're saying. But the point is, when you overpay for players, you put that pressure on them to perform. And if they miss one or two performances, they make them perform once or twice, it gets into their head, and they are now under a lot of pressure. And the English fans are not nice. They will roast you if you don't perform.
Definitely.
Don't perform. They will call you a flop, call you names, insult your family members and things like that. So it's just one where I look at the market and I say to myself, like, in the past, if you bought a player for £100 million, you know what you were getting. Like,
Definitely.
You could be sure, like, this guy is going to come and bear an instant hit on the team already. But these days, £100 million is like 30, 40 million pounds of the olden days, where the highest we saw then was when Neymar went to PSG for, was it 150 or 200 million pounds? He went for that time. That was about the highest we saw.
Yeah, but it was the highest at that time.
Yeah, the highest at that time. Right now, we're seeing players who, I don't want to say average players. If I look at Morgan Rogers' stats, in the good Aston Villa team, he had about 8 goals, and I had it open here. He had, I closed it. So he had Roger had 10 goals, 6 assists, so 16 goal contributions in 37 games. Is that better to go for 120 million pounds? I don't know. I just think it's a bit on the high side, right? So there are games where he scored like 2 or 3 goals, and those sort of things. You ask yourself, from the other games that he didn't play well, what then happened, right? On the big games against Arsenal, against the likes of Chelsea, the likes of Man City, how well did he perform, right? And maybe he did very well. I'm just saying, but if I look at his stats, physical contribution, one player, I don't think it's a lot. For example, if Saka did this stats in a year, we'll say he didn't do it because we know Saka standards. So that's what when I say what is player going for, that's what I'm looking at. If I look at the stats, actually for start amount, you can have like 20 goal contribution in a season.
In a season, yeah, that's true.
That's what I think. I mean, that's what will make sense to me for a player to go above £100 million, an attacking player. Now, I'm not saying a midfield defending midfield player, like attacking player going for that amount should be like someone who can score or assist up to 20 goals or create 20 chances in a season. But we're not seeing that with Morgan Rogers. Again, I want him to do well in Chelsea. I pray he does. I like to see young guys, doing very well in their clubs and, achieving success. So I'm looking forward to what he'll do in Chelsea, and I pray he does well, like I said. It's just that because I don't blame them, because these players don't fix the price that which they go for. They just have to move, and then the clubs now decide and agree. And I think the clubs need to, I don't know how to curb this issue of overpricing, overpaying for players. It seems to be a thing right now. Like, if now you ask yourself, if they're going for this much, what will the Jorginho now go for if he wants to be sold to Arsenal? Even look at his stats over the years, right? So you know what again, you know what he's seen him done on biggest stages in football before. Even the World Cup, he wasn't bad in the World Cup. He was good in the World Cup. What did Morgan Rogers do in the World Cup? Only 1 assist, right? That's all he did in the World Cup. I mean, there's nothing else Rogers did in the World Cup apart from 1 assist. Yeah, Anderson was good. Defensive midfielder, played well, created some, move the ball for progressive ball, partnered well with Declan Rice. But overall, I just feel like this prices these guys are going for is just something that I don't know what will happen, but it's just it doesn't sound right. Like, it's just for play.
There's something I used to say.
Yeah,
I don't like to mess with people's money. Any amount of money that you can get everything as possible, because these billionaires that own the club, sometimes they use players as pawns, and it's a bit more profound in basketball, because they may not play a player because they want to be able to have more cash flexibility and pay less in tax.
Yeah.
Especially when you are talking about luxury tax. So if you get the opportunity where you can get 100 million, don't go for 90, go for the whole 100 and get as much money as you can get, because then again, those players, they earn enough money because almost half of that will go into tax.
Yep.
Almost half of that will go into tax. So as much money as you can earn, just earn it and, give your family a better life. So I always say I don't like to mess with their money, but generally it looks like there's a new narrative coming up within the English sphere. Average players are now beginning to command 100 million. Right. And maybe the days of 100 million now is now beginning to come to, it's no more reserved for the English top asset talents now. Yeah. So mid talents now can command that amount.
And I said to you, so I think I want clubs to be a bit more strict with their spending. That's why I praise Arsenal for what they've done with Morgan Rogers' deal. From the news that we had the value at £80 million, and that's highest you could have gone from. We can't pay above 80 for Morgan Rogers. We respect your decision. We can't pay above.
No, they already have a lot of expensive players on their squad.
Exactly. So if you now pay on, I mean, that's. So I feel Arsenal for being. To be fair, if I look at Arsenal squad currently, like you mentioned before, do we even need that kind of player right now in the squad? Like, without him, we already replaced Trossard, right?
Yes.
Probably I think we need a midfielder, someone to help Declan Rice or to help in a midfield a bit in case Declan Rice is now tired and he needs to rest. Someone that can do what he does maybe to even a higher level, like a Guimaraes. That's one I know we really need. So even right now, the way I am, even if Arsenal doesn't get Vinicius Junior, let's say they get Bruno, maybe they get a defender, or maybe they get John Stones that are going for right now. I would think fine for most part of the season. Maybe you can now target to get someone else much later, right? Go down and get watching. But if you look at it, I want to see clubs saying no, we can't pay for this player. This is what we're paying for the player. And Man City does that a lot too. Man City does that a lot too. When they pay a certain amount, once you go past that amount, they tell you they can't buy anymore. Even when Guardiola was there, I've seen them lead a lot of times. So I like to see that a bit more from clubs. I like to see teams, because once teams are doing that, this madness will stop, right?
Yeah,
that's what I call it. I respect the players who are being sold. I respect the clubs for their shit, but some of this just doesn't add up. I don't think it's right that these players are going for this price. You put pressure on them to perform when they get to the clubs. You put pressure on everybody the fans now expect so much from you.
Definitely.
To perform. So it's just interesting. But I just want to see clubs stand their ground and say, no, we can't pay too much. This is what you're going to put for the player. If you can't take this, we move on to the next target. End of story, move on. If that continues to happen, clubs will start bringing their prices down for the players. Players will start for the right value.
Yeah,
right.
That's
true.
So if you look at some of the other sequences of players that are moving, Crescencio Somerville moving from West Ham to Al Hilal, and it was about 60 million. So for me, Al Hilal continues to build a high pace, and we're going to continue to see that also coming from the Middle East.
Yeah.
Their technical front line. And Somerville, looking at the fact that he had been with West Ham, the English system, is coming in as a direct winger. He helped them beat and even score more goals. But a good fitting for them. But if you look at the implication for West Ham, it looks like West Ham will be getting another extra 60 million after relegation, which is some good money for them. You understand? They can begin to reset and start to plan how they can come back to the Premier League next season, which I believe that they should be able to come back. You understand?
Yeah.
So for me, the market signal is Saudi clubs remain very desperate to pay much high amounts to be able to bring or lure top players to come to their side. And I see them paying a lot of these fees for even prime age players that are already like in their late 30s. They don't mind. They will pay those monies.
Yeah.
So
I think those clubs want to attract talent, right? So they have to pay. You have to attract those guys. So it's what it is, right? It's not a place where a lot of players want to go to, right?
Yeah.
So for you to attract them, you need to now pay a premium to attract them, and which that's business, right? So is it right? Is what it is, because everybody knows that if the best footballers are still in Europe, I guess. So
yeah, of course.
At least for now, that might change in the future. But
no, the World Cup showed us that clearly. The World Cup just showed
you
us
can
that.
see happening the World Cup, right? So it's just what it is. So, but I mean, when I saw somebody going to Saudi Arabia for, I'm like, yeah, fair play to him. At the end of the day, let's face it, these guys are they're employees, sort of, right? So they want to earn more money, right? At the end of the day. So if probably Guardians okay, who else is coming to buy him? Nobody. And it's like, man, I'll just go there and earn big money and chill and do that. Fine. This is where I am right now. And if it moves comes back on for me to go back to Europe in the future, I will as well go back. So if it happens, and if it doesn't happen, I remain there and play my football. At the end of the day, you're doing what you love, right? You're living well. You're well paid. You're well taken care of, and they don't pay tax in those countries. So even makes life easy. So if you're paying 10 million pounds, if you're earning 10 million pounds in the Middle East, is as good as someone earning 20 million pounds here in England, right? Because you don't pay tax over there. So which is great to see. It's just what it is. It's I mean, fair play to him. I wish him all the best in Al Hilal. I see Al Hilal, yeah, that's where it's going.
Al Hilal, yeah. No, he's going to play with Ronaldo. No, sorry, Ronaldo is Al Nassr. Sorry, Ronaldo is Al Nassr. Al Hilal is their direct rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, direct rivals.
Yeah, hope
Ronaldo has also done some good recruiting. He had brought some good guys to the team.
Ronaldo, right? Well. Yeah. I saw when he was posting that it was become a lot of players are moving there because of him. Well, that's
it's okay.
Yeah.
I tell people, I say some people use boasting as a motivation to be able to outperform their last record.
Yeah.
So they may not necessarily be arrogant, but it may just be a way. They call it self-motivation. Some people use it to motivate themselves.
Yep.
You understand? So I don't know why people lose sleep over the fact that Ronaldo is arrogant. They said, I also heard that Ronaldo tried to compare Euros that he has won to the World Cup, that the World Cup is not bigger than Euros. I'm like, that's just one man's statement. So why are you losing sleep over that?
That's his opinion.
It's his opinion.
So
yeah.
If you
and he has the right to his own opinion.
You have to also respect his opinion. You can say your own opinion, your own view. But don't insult the man, right? That's his opinion. So
and nobody even knows you
think,
that you are saying your own opinion. At least they know him. That's why they're talking about his opinion.
And some people are talking about I can't even win. They can't even win ordinary teacup. So when I said that, I'm like, but that's his own view. You don't know what is he went through to win those one that he won. Because it's probably the same number of matches that he played probably in the World Cup or maybe the former World Cup setting, right? I played to win those. So if you say the same thing, maybe you respect him for saying that, right? So it's his own view. So if you think you have a different view, say your own view and say, no, I think I agree with him for these reasons.
Exactly.
Yes, you're too proud, you're too this one, you're too arrogant.
Yeah, no, that's too much.
Please now. It's what the guy achieved in his career. Most of us cannot even dream of achieving it. So
exactly. The kind of money those guys have touched is just too much. For you to consistently be top 3 highest earning athlete for the last decade, top 3, which means that you have earned significantly much more than 10 players combined together in any good team for like a decade. That's a lot.
So it's not even about it. It's about the fact that to be disciplined for that long.
For that long
as a footballer, because you don't. I've watched some of their trainings and what they do afterwards. For you to be that fit, Taiwo, you need to want what you're eating to be that fit. But to maintain that fitness for a long time, it's right. So you're not eating what you like to. You're eating what you have to eat to be fit.
What you have to eat. That level.
For a long period of time, for that long, like Ronaldo has done. That's why some people overweight over because they can't do what these guys do to be fit. Because you have to maintain. When Asamoah came to Arsenal, he changed their diet completely for them to be fit and play football well the way we want them to play. Change their diet completely. And smallest footballers in their clubs, they watch what they eat. So if they go to train, for example, the caterers can give them certain types of food. You have to give them certain types of food for them to remain fit and things like that. So you have to eat healthy. And most times, we and I know healthy eating sometimes is not nice, it's not good, it doesn't taste good. You have to. So when I see people, they saw this guy, I'm like, what the guys have done, most of us cannot even attempt to do it. It's not easy. Let's even forget about the money. To remain that fit and just eating what you have to eat to just be fit for a long period of time. Exercise daily, jack weight and everything for a long period of time. Even if you do have to do for fun. That's why some of them retire at 30. Keep up with this thing. I saw this guy that acted in Odyssey. What's his name? Matt Damon. He had to get in shape for that movie. You know what he said? He said he doesn't ever want to try that again. He doesn't ever want to do that. That's what I heard he said. I'm not quoting, but that's why I saw some people just put some. But the guy said he never wants to do that again because he knows what he wants you to get to that shape for that movie. This is just for a movie. So don't talk of someone who on a daily basis maintains that fitness regime. He eats what he has to eat to fit for a long period of time. And people are saying he said something. And people are saying he's stupid. Can you do what he does? He can't do what he does. So
if they are doing it for clickbait, that's okay because it maybe brings people to your page. You're able to make more money. That's okay. But don't ever make it personal.
Don't insult them.
Don't be insulting the guy because of that.
Make your own view. Make your own
view. Just say your own view. You feel that.
But
if I were the one, I would say it differently. That's okay. But not that you are insulting him because he tried to compare the Euros to the World Cup. I know the World Cup is at the highest level. I know that and I get that. But somebody can come up with an argument and say, I can tell you that no matter the competition, as far as I won with my country, is already a plus for me.
Yep.
And both people were talking about, Ronaldo has won 3 competitions with his country. Yep. Messi has won 3, even though Messi has won the World Cup, which is highly more recognized, and he has 8 Ballon d'Ors, while Ronaldo has 5. After Ronaldo's 5, I think the nearest person to them is maybe 3 Ballon d'Ors or 2.
I think it's 2 now. It's 2.
2, that's, I think Zidane has 2.
Yeah.
I've not checked the other ones, but it's not easy to get someone that will have 5. And somebody was telling me that if Messi didn't exist in this generation, maybe Ronaldo will have like 15 Ballon d'Ors now. It's true. If Messi didn't exist,
no other person compared to this guy.
No other person.
It's always him second, Messi first, or Ronaldo first, Messi second. You know?
Then I said, if Ronaldo did not exist in this generation now, maybe Messi will have like 13 too.
Exactly.
By now. Because 8 plus the 5 too.
Exactly.
You never can tell.
Because Ronaldo's trophy cabinet is what anybody will aspire to have. Ronaldo's trophy probably will fill my whole room.
Of course not.
All the awards, golden boots, the won Europe, all his Champions League, Premier League. If you put everything together, my brother, if you take one whole closet, everything. So yeah, I like it. I mean, people can compare whatever they want to compare, but let's just respect these two guys because what they brought to football, the kind of fun they've given us over the years to watch them and watch what they do. It's lovely to see, right? It's something that we should all aspire to achieve. Especially Ronaldo. I still want to Ronaldo because we see how hard this guy works. How devoted. Messi works hard. I'm sure for you to be able to maintain your talent to that level, you probably will be a hard worker as well. But Ronaldo's one is one that is very visible for us to see, like what he does to be that fit at that age. At 41, we're still talking about Ronaldo at 41 years old. At 41.
Those guys are good. I give them their flowers any day, anytime. They are top guys, top athletes, really.
They're top athletes. Both of them are top athletes. It's not easy.
So I think because of our time, we've done so well. We're almost hitting 1 hour. Lee Kangin moving from PSG to Atletico for 35, roughly about 34 million plus add-ons. And you will notice that in the Champions League, PSG had practically not really put that guy in their plans anymore. That Asian guy.
Yeah.
I watched him during the regular season. He's a solid guy, and I think he's going to improve. He's going to improve Atletico.
Yeah.
Because it looks like Atletico will most likely lose one or two of their guys as well.
Yep.
Before the end of the season. I don't know if Julian Alvarez will still be there, but
it's not like he'll be there. It looks like
it's not likely.
He's already sore, so I don't think he'll be there. But let's see how it goes.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I'm looking at. But Lee Kangin will also improve them. And looking at the fact that he has just become a champion, moving to Atletico, he's going there with that pedigree to be able to improve the team. And hopefully Atletico is a bit better next season. We talked about Christos Zolis as well, coming from Club Brugge.
Yep.
So people say he's a winger, but he doesn't have that strong goal threat yet, from what they are saying. Hopefully he's able to prove us wrong. For 34 million, a direct replacement for Trossard.
When people see those things, I look at his stats in Club Brugge. The only issue I see is that yes, you can see he plays in Belgium, but so what he did in Champions League. He's had about 20 goals, 17 assists. In about 30 how many games. So I think it's not a goal trade. I don't understand when people say that.
What those people mean that be. But I think they were belittling so that statement sounds more like you are belittling the league.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can say the league. You can say the league is not strong enough like the Premier League or the La Liga or Italian League or French League or whatever. But someone that scored a number of goals, let's say even if he does half of that in his first season national, let's say he does half.
That's still good
10
enough.
10 goals, 8 assists in one season, first season national. You honestly can only get better, right?
Definitely.
Now, I like the fact that they brought him early, so you can start getting used to how we play early, right?
How we play, exactly.
So I'm excited for him. I think he'll do well at Arsenal. I think he'll do very well. So, not that had a number of goals and had a number of assists. It's like what they're saying about Gyökeres. He's doing well, but 21 goals in his first season national. Despite not being fully fit for the first 2 or 3 months. When he came.
I think he was heavily criticized for like the first 3 months, and
exactly.
At some point when everybody was injured, he was not like the savior and stuff.
Exactly.
He really tried.
So I think people should just when you look at the stats that he has back, and again the amount they bought him for is not that expensive, £34 million in the market. Today's market, it's not a lot to say. Okay, it doesn't work out, we're losing. If it doesn't work out, probably selling for like 2025 in the next 1 or 2 years, and that'll be, and he'll go, right? So, but I hope he does well. I really hope that. I believe he'll do well because he's a very good player. What I see, he's a very good player, right? If I looked at what he did in Champions League to teams like Barcelona, and when he played them and things like that, he did very well. So hopefully he'll do well at Arsenal. Yeah.
Okay, not so bad. I think there are some other, small, what I call low-profile moves that happened, and it's probably just to tighten some things up.
Yeah.
Rita Idemasa moved from Sporting to Hull City on a free. They practically got that guy for free. Medama moved from Hoffenheim to Wolfsburg for about £4.3 million, which I feel it was a very cheap adjustment. Paul Okon Engsler, I think this guy is Nigerian, half Nigerian or something. Yeah, but he's moving from Sydney FC to Cologne for about £900,000, and so for me, those are just cheap moves. Yeah. But the big one for me is Alaji Bamba moving from Monaco to Newcastle for €30 million. That's a major money. And I think the pressure here is on Newcastle to really come back to winning ways.
Yeah.
Because last season, at some point, they were below the half of the table.
Yep.
And they were looking like a far cry from the team that we saw earlier. So this move for me kind of signals that they are targeting high ceiling this time around.
Yeah.
You understand? They want to be able to anchor or get a player that can help them progress play much better.
They have to. They have to.
They just have to. Yeah.
And Newcastle has the money. They have owners who have money, right? So I don't understand what's going on at Newcastle, right?
No, but they are also limited based on some policies.
Okay.
You understand? Some policies to fair play and some other policies that exist as well. They are limited. So they cannot spend as much as they cannot spend a certain amount which kind of correlates with how much income they've made within the previous year or the previous season. If they've not really made that kind of money, they really can't spend it. So they're also a bit limited.
I want to see Newcastle do what Arsenal did. What Arteta did when he came to Arsenal the first time. Have a plan for the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? If players want to go, like we saw what happened with Isak last season, all the time and everything, CN ended up going. Now Guimaraes wants to go, they're saying it's not for sale or something like that. So if I'm the owners of Newcastle, I'll say, you know what, let's start building from now. Let's start the building project in the next 2 to 4 to 5 years. We can't go down, we can't be relegated, right? Let's target to end up like 8 or 9 this season. That's what I would say if it were me. But of course, I don't run the club. So if you mean getting this player, like you mentioned, this one they just got right now, £10 million, goodbye. I think they were no good. They were no good. They were going to get Mazambi before, but ended up going to Aston Villa. I think Mazambi, the Swiss player, that guy is a lovely player. When I watched him in Switzerland, they also talk about like I think that was the reason why they lost Argentina. If the guy was playing, I think they'd have won Argentina. I think they would have won Mazambi. I think they'd have won that because he's a very good player, right? So I want to see Newcastle have that kind of plan. Like that's what I want to see clubs do. Instant win is good. Instant success is fine, but something you want to build properly. Build over a period of time to give yourself 3 years to build properly. Buy the young players. So look at your academy. Get young players who can follow your instructions, who can, do what's going on in the pitch, and then have that success. Have a plan to get to the top. Because Newcastle is one of the teams that used to do very well back in the day, right? So I really want to see them, let players who don't want to stay, they can let them to go. Get players who want to stay in the club and work hard with them and, show them the prospect. Let them find we're looking at the projects for the next 2 or 3 years. We're will not be top 5 this season or top 4.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can't get in love. We can't get in those kind of players that will get us there. But we are the ones we want to work with you to develop you and get to that point. So that's what I like to them do. But I hope that they'll do that and see where they can get in the future.
Yeah. Okay, but that's a good one. I think Barcelona was also flexing their muscle. They were able to get this Adeyemi guy coming from Borussia Dortmund.
Yep.
And they really want, they want him to fit into that transition.
Yeah.
Not friendly version. You understand? Under, this wonderful coach Flick. And I feel that that's a very, very good addition, if you ask me. Yeah. And I really want to see how he's able to play in their pace, the way they play. I want to see how he falls in that category. A couple of, few moves are good. Leandro Garnacho also is moving from Chelsea to Aston Villa.
Yep.
And he's on loan with obligations as well.
He's on loan, right?
He's on loan, yeah. He's on loan with obligations.
Okay.
They probably just want to see how it goes. Couple of other moves within Spain. Spain has also made some moves, but I just feel those moves don't really move the needle because Spain is already kind of determined. You already know who will be the top 2 or top 3, and every other person just moves around. You understand? So that's just it. Thank you very much, Emmanuel, for joining me. I didn't know 2 of us would be able to do up to 1 hour, but there was definitely a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time, and hope you're able to enjoy the weekend and have a wonderful week ahead, my friend.
Thank you. Same to you, my brother. Catch up later.
Thanks so much, man. Cheers.